All right. Good. So everybody's here. Everybody's happy, or something. Testing. Test. 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 Testing. Test. I think the mic is loud enough. Now. Oh, it's a bit too loud. Now. Okay. Hello. Here I am. Ready to take. Oh, hello. Oh, let's screw that up. Okay, well, let's just hide it under here, and then we'll just peek this out over here. Okay, and now we're good. And now, here we go. Okay, good. Imagine being able to revert yourselves back to stem cells and regenerate. Gulper eel is the best animal. Okay, good. Glad we covered that. Oh, a new one by Amaranth. That's exciting. Wireframe wolves. Very good. Very good. Raymond. Raymond is back. 2 from Will. Not happy, but a lot simpler than other stuff I've sent, so I'm curious about your feedback. If the first part is too boring, conventional, I'm really concerned with the second part. Speaker on, off. Ah, cool. Okay. Good. Bunch of numbers. Good. Okay. Oh, easy now. All right, so I guess I should put this on my other screen. Put this down here. Password length leaked. Yeah, I'm all right. Oh, Amaranth is in the chat. This must be up early. Or late. Okay, cool. So I had a thought, and I didn't really think it through. So, if this is a bad idea, just tell me. But I thought, maybe we do a thing today where... No, this is a stupid idea. Okay. All right, let's just... let's start with Iloridus. Loridus. Is that louder? Oh, here we go. Nice. Yeah, that was really cool. I think yeah, it's cool. It like really sets the mood. Although I would say like maybe you could evolve it a bit more, but at the same time it kind of reminds me of like Clams Casino or something, but like a new new version. Clams Casino 2.0 or something. Oh, okay, so all right. I'm going to say it actually that my idea was what if like, whenever we listen to a track, we put in the chat like anything that this kind of reminds us of, and why does it remind you of that thing. But like try to refrain from, I think it's not going to really. So the reason I thought that this would be an interesting idea is like if this is a way for us to kind of find new music to listen to, right? So maybe someone would say some recommendation based on, so say I submit a track and then somebody says, oh, that sounds like Jackson 5 or whatever. And then I would go and look that up, and then maybe that would be interesting for the person who made it. Or if somebody posts a track and you really like it, and then someone else says, "Oh, this reminds me of XYZ," then maybe that'll help us like find more music or something. Lauren, yeah, sounds like, yeah. So that's one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about is that if we do this, it's going to be like for every song, it's going to be like the same 5 artists or something. So when you post one, if you post an artist that it reminds you of, try to, try not to post the same thing that somebody else already posted, and try not to post one of us, I guess, because we all have already heard each other's music, basically. And then intellectually honest. Nice. Okay, and then yeah, no, that's a good point. It is kind of like a same couple artists, but that's what I'm saying is like if any of this stuff, even if it's sort of tangentially related, right? Like for example, I mean, Clams Casino is actually kind of a decent example, right? Because Clams Casino is really popular, but it's sort of outside of our sort of niche, I think. So it's sort of, I don't know. Maybe that is a dumb example. I don't know. Anyways, that's why I wasn't sure if this was a good idea or not. So, and then the next, yeah, like we don't need to say, yeah, Rob Clouth, for example, or me, or, yeah. Yeah, or like any of the big ones. Like, I don't think you need to say like Aphex or fucking, or like Richard Devine or something. But if it reminds you of some weird shit that you heard at some point, then yeah, definitely say that. Okay, so the next thing that I thought might be kind of fun, the next thing that I thought would kind of be fun would be, shit, what was it? Oh shit, I don't remember what it was. Fuck, it'll come back to me. I had another thought, but yeah. Okay, so for this track, I don't know where to really take it. I think it sounds good. I also really like this part. You could also, you know, one thing that you could do is like, if you high passed this a little bit, so you still get sort of that like 100, 120 hertz or whatever, but then kind of pulled out everything from the low end so that, so you'd have like, you know, so that one of the hits was the real like big bassy one. And then the other ones were just sort of the little stuttery ones. That might be a nice touch to make it heavier. I mean, it's kind of what you're doing already, but... yeah, I don't know. That's a nice name for a track. Dissociate. Yeah, feels like it. Hits the vibe. Okay, cool. That was good. Yeah, don't forget to put your thing. Oh, right. I remembered what I was going to say. Okay, so for each track, when your track comes up, while the track is playing, try to, like, I would really like for people to sort of like type in to the chat like what they were thinking, you know, like when they made the track, what kind of stuff were you like experimenting with, or you know, what's like one cool technique that you used in the track. It doesn't have to be like a new thing that none of us have ever heard of, but just like one thing that you're sort of proud of in the track, and sort of like, you know, like what do you want advice about with the track? I think that could be kind of a fun thing to do. I think some people already sort of do that, but it could be just like another kind of fun thing to try to do, so that people watching or listening can have some kind of idea of what the inspiration for the track was, and maybe some of the cool things that are kind of going on in there. Okay, so let's do that for this Amaranth one. Amaranth, if you're out there, type in the inspiration and the idea or whatever while we listen. Oh, that little thing at the end was really nice. Digital. Yeah, that was good. That was really good. I like that the sound design had some of these kind of like wires snapping, like this, like. I really like that kind of stuff. What else did I like? Yeah, I get what you mean by that you were like into the kind of sunk kind of inspired sounds. I feel like it does have a little bit of chunky sunky. Is this stream really fucking up? Okay, so yeah, so the one thing that I wasn't sure about is the snare, actually. It sounds cool in there, but I feel like it's the most sort of real sound in there. And I kind of think that a more weird sound, like a more alien sort of sound, might be is this stream okay? What the hell's going on out there? Whew. Sorry, I'm kind of yawning a little bit. It says my stream quality's good. 60 FPS, 12% dropped frames. That doesn't seem so good. Okay. Alright. Okay. So anyway, so... yeah, I guess that's that was kind of my only thought. Is like, I wonder if you did something weird or different, or just process that kind of like thunk kind of snare a little bit differently or something. There's nothing going on in the video anyway, so I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, the snare used to be weirder. Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like I get kind of caught in that too. It's like you make the snare weird, and then you're like, would it be better with like a normal snare? And then you try with the normal snare, and then you're like, would it be better with the weirder snare? And it's hard to like kind of decide. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, the other thing that I really liked was this like piano thing that we settled into somewhere here. So weird. Impressive something. I do not. Although my girlfriend is also working and sometimes needs to upload and download stuff, so that is potentially what's happening. But you guys, you don't need to see the video. There's nothing going on in the video. It's just my face, and just like, as long as you can hear it, it's all good, right? Anyways, so yeah, I like how you did the piano thing, because it like doesn't... I remember that there was some piano notes in here, but I can't think of where they are, so it feels really kind of like nice that they sort of come out here. Yeah, cool. I think that was good. Just gonna go back in the chat to see if I missed anything. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Okay, cool. Thank you, Amaranth. Put your thing in the chat. Or here, I'll put it. Okay, wireframe wolves. Very cool sounds. I think one of my favorite little sounds in there was the that when the snare goes like that's like my favorite part, I think. Yeah, so I think like you mentioned in your thing that you're thinking about like the sound design and the wait, what did you say? This is a remix of a collab with Amaranth. I did a kind of mud pie using a Max for Live granulator, excuse me, and then kind of assembled riffs out of it. Some of the melodic bits I added like 5 minutes before stream, so they might suck. The whole thing is rough right now. Feedback on which sections suck or if I overdid the granular sound is good. Okay, so I don't think you overdid the granular sound. I think maybe a little bit of the like repeating sound you could swap out for other types of gestures. I would be careful not to overdo that either, because like somebody said, it's like it is kind of like crucial to it, I think. Yeah, but I think like you could do like slightly less of that, I guess, or like slightly less like down, or how do I mouth sound? Yeah, especially these ones where it's like it's I think it's like those ones that sound weird to me, where it doesn't feel like it feels like that beats back and forth mode. I don't know why, but I feel like those ones in particular, just maybe slightly less of those, but they're cool. They are cool. So just like kind of playing with different gestures to swap out for those ones. And then, yeah, the other thing is I think the arrangement sort of needs a bit of work, because we sort of like, we build up to it and then we're in this kind of main moment. And then we sort of don't. So we're sort of in this like but for like a really, really long time. And I think like there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but I think like the melodic bits, like so you want to think about like where's the track pointing to, and like make sure that everything's sort of like so if you want, well, this is my take on it, obviously everybody, you do whatever the fuck you want, but like if my thought is always like if you want the track to go in a certain direction, then it makes sense for all the elements to support that, right? Like if you're going to like this kind of, you're trying to get to this place where the beat or whatever, the feeling of that like the kind of glitchy stuff is like overwhelming and stuff, bring the melody in to do the same thing, like make the melody more twisted, more big and full, and so it kind of overwhelms the senses like in every way, or if it's dragging you down, maybe there's some other kind of things that you can use to get that feeling across as well. Yeah, I think you can also like maybe be a bit more sparing, or like give us a moment to sort of take a breath and then go back in and punch us in the face, because I feel like those big kind of punch in the face moments, they really do have the biggest impact when you have something. It's like the contrast that makes it work, I think. Or at least that's my kind of take on it. So like for something like this, maybe a longer sort of pause, or like putting a pause somewhere in here, so that when we come back to the thing that's really in your face, we have more of a way to sort of appreciate it. Or the other way of doing it is like go into a sort of double time sort of thing or something, or like just make some more space for the melodic stuff and play a little bit more with that kind of stuff or something. Yeah. DQI says, yes, but I also love grains just pummeling me in the face nonstop. Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah, I think this is my favorite Wireframe Wolves track as well. It's really good. Yeah, the sound design feels like it's really, yeah, it's like getting better and better every time. So yeah, so if you're gonna do this switch up here, for example, to make this thing hit harder, pull this out even more, so that when we get here, we have more of this sort of feel. Maybe just cut to a loop of this. Or something, I don't know. Yeah, so, okay, so that's my thought about that. I really like that one. It reminded me a little bit of, I guess I'm breaking my own rules here, but it reminded me a little bit of, some of the sound design kind of reminded me of like Richard Devine or something, which I thought was cool. Yeah, that's super true. Your progress over the last year has been fucking insane. Okay, Ray Viviano. Remember to write your story in the chat. Cool. Nice. I like your... Okay, so Ray says, I guess one of the things that I that I focused on, that you can see from the waveform, is that I focused on patience for this one, trying to hold off introducing a kick for as long as possible. Also, modal interchange, switching between parallel minor and majors here and there. Cool. Okay, so one thought that I had when listening to this is like, I think when you're trying to stretch something out to like build anticipation and kind of like have this feeling of patience, one trick that you can use to do that is to avoid like those kind of resolving feelings. So like this one, that one feels kind of resolved to me. So one way that I do this sometimes with my students is like kind of forget everything that you know about music theory or whatever, and just listen to a chunk of it and try to find which are the kind of notes or chords or whatever that feel the most sort of like settled, or like that feel like they've released tension, and then take those out and try to work around that to make it so that you don't hit those notes, but you somehow keep going, so it somehow still makes sense, but you never fully land on those chords that like fully resolve the tension. I think even if you avoided them once in a while, you could make this feeling of like you could sort of stretch it out more, like pull more out of this section. Yeah, and when you're doing that, you got to be careful about like what notes you hit in the bass as well. And like, this is a kind of a hard thing to sort of explain abstractly. Like, yeah, like I think we'd have to just sort of like go through and try changing some of the notes to try seeing like, oh, maybe it would feel less resolved if we like got rid of this note, or moved this one up a little bit, or moved this one to the side. Or sometimes you can get extra sort of like that patience feeling. You've got this one kind of like thing going on here. Let me find it. Yeah, so this is a nice example, right? So you go, so it feels like after this one, it feels like where you want to go is here. So what I would kind of like an alternative to that, I would suggest like da 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 da. I'm fucking terrible at singing, but you know what I mean? Like, just keep the suspense going more and more, and see how long you can kind of stretch it out before you have to hit one of those kind of more resolved notes. Yeah, there's like you can really kind of get more and more out of it. I don't have any advice for modal interchange because I'm not very good at doing it. Yeah, okay, and then my other thought was for this part, so now you have these, like, there's two things that you kind of have that you can kind of play with and glitch out here. One is the drum track. If you render the drum track, and then you can make these sort of like little micro edits, and just glitch stuff out, or stretch stuff, or pitch stuff up a couple octaves or down a couple octaves. You can get a lot of weird sounds just by like stretching something out, or putting it up, 2-4 octaves or something, or pulling it down a couple octaves and high passing it. Or there's lots of nice little sounds that come out of just doing something kind of random to the sound, or just take a bit of it and kind of copy paste it a couple times, or that sort of thing. And I think that would work really well for this particular rhythm. It feels like a little bit, it reminds me a little bit of like Edit or Telephone Tel Aviv or something. And I feel like if you edited and kind of messed with those sounds a little bit more, And I think like destructive editing is sort of the easiest way to do that. You could get you get a little bit more, you get more like mileage out of the sounds. And then the same thing you can do with the melody too, right? Like you can just kind of like mess up a couple notes here or there. You could try playing some of those notes on a different thing, smear those fundamentals. Yeah, you can do all sorts of kind of weird stuff like that. Another trick is to, take a thing and then stretch it or squish it and then consolidate, so like render in place, and then stretch or squish it back to its original size, or like put it up a couple octaves and then consolidate and then bring it back down. And this way, if you do that on like a note by note basis, you can get all sorts of kind of cool sounds. Yeah, there's lots of kind of nice little effects that you can get from that sort of stuff. So that would be my thought, but I think all in all, the song really works. I think you could go a little darker. Like I think some more dissonance. Some more dissonance, whether it's like in the sound design of the synths, or the notes themselves. I think could go a long way. Just having some stuff that's like slightly out or something could kind of warm it up a little bit. But yeah, it's cool. I really like what you did with it. And I always like your rhythms. They're always super weird. Okay. Zilia. Don't forget to put your story. Nice. Okay, so um okay, my thought is like I like this idea that you're doing the the melody is beautiful and everything, and the drums fit nicely with it, and there's some nice kind of little glitchy moments, but I feel like in some moments it feels like it's a bit too much, and we kind of lose the plot of like what's going on in the song. Normal loop. Yeah, and then the other thing was like I think, well, so one thing I would say is like maybe thinking of the speaker on off thing as a little bit more of like what's it called? A little bit more as sort of like as that it serves sort of the same function as a drum fill, right? Like if you're doing drum fills all the time, it's hard to it's hard to hear what's going on in the song. So, and like I understand like that the concept is to do that, but I think like you can kind of let it play a bit more. Start putting them in, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then at the end, yeah, we get these kind of big cutouts, or more of the cutouts, or they're going really fast and stuff. And there's a couple moments where it feels like the speaker doesn't cut out on the drums, but it does cut out on the other stuff, and I feel like that kind of takes away from the idea. Yeah, like there, like that hi-hat's not affected by the drums cutting, or by the sound cutting out, and I feel like that separates them in a way, like it makes them feel like two separate things, and yeah, so I would say like if you're gonna do it to both of them at the same time. Like I think the cool thing about those kind of mutes is like it has this sort of unifying feeling, like it makes everything feel like it's the same, like all part of the same group or whatever, right? So they all turn off and they all turn back on at once. It has the same feeling as like a band kind of stopping and then starting. And it depends on how you use it, but it has sort of that illusion to it, I think. And so if you stop one thing but you don't stop the others, it sort of, I think it can like decouple them in like maybe not the best way. But actually, now that I was saying that, the other thing that popped in my head was like, if you want to decouple them, then you can. What I would suggest is like, if you're gonna turn off one of them, then do something to the other one. Don't just like let it play like this. Like I think those I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, reverb on the cuts could be kind of interesting. You could also try experimenting with different ways of cutting in and out. So there's this one kind of cool trick that you can do. Actually, don't know how you would organize this, but if we take, let's just do something like this here. Oops. One sec. I'm just taking something and pitching it way down because I want to make a really like lots of DC offset. Well, let's keep going. Okay, so now we have a bit of this. Here we go. So the cool thing about this is like if we take this like just giant DC offset thing and then we play this at the same time as something else. What are we gonna play? I don't know. I hope this works. Yeah, we gotta be kind of over here, I think. Maybe it's supposed to be louder. Oh. Do you hear that? That's kind of only fucking up on one side. Yeah, so you get this kind of like, this kind of crackly bias type thing. You can get a similar effect from doing, from just using like the bias in some kind of thing that has bias. You can kind of control it with the envelope. So you get these kind of sounds. But there is something kind of nice about like if you put them together, and then I don't know if this would work with the limiter. Let's try it. No, it doesn't work with the limiter. I bet if we put a saturator though. Oh. And so it sounds really, yeah, you get some kind of interesting stuff there. And if you want to get rid of that, then all you have to do is put an auto filter just at the very bottom. So it'll still give you that kind of cool sound, but none of this is left in the output. This is all filtered out with the filter. But yeah, so that can be kind of a fun way of getting some interesting kind of bias, DC offset sort of effect, and then it doesn't fuck up your mix because you can filter it out really easily. Yeah. I don't know if Frequent does that because I don't know how to. Oh shit! I forgot that the bottom of this window is not in there. Fuck. Okay, hold on. Let me move it over. So yeah. So if you just have these two going into, and you can see this, right? And I guess it's kind of hard to see on the stream, but it's just like one really slow curve, and it just goes like way up, and then so when that kind of kicks in, and we get this raging like without the limiter, we get this kind of crazy, the two waves sort of interacting and fucking up. We get this sort of bias effect. You can get that effect if you put a saturator. It doesn't have to be doing anything, you just have to not be hitting a limiter, I guess. And then but now you can see the output is really fucked up, right? Where it's at like kind of max all the time. Even when we get here, we're like fully at max volume, right? This is like totally in the red. But we can just kind of put it back to normal if we just filter out this stuff. And all you need to do is just put a low pass filter at like the very bottom, right? We're at like 26 hertz or something. So anyways, okay. Cool. So yeah, so that was kind of my thoughts about that. But I really like the idea, and I really like this melody thing. Like the... I guess you had the drums at the beginning. I didn't realize that. But yeah, it's really pretty. I think the last thing I would say is maybe the highs are a bit high, but I guess you're probably gonna figure that out like later in the making the track. But yeah, cool. That was a good one. Okay, number. Shameless Burial ripoff. Nice. Oh shit, sorry. Let's start again. That was cool. That was a really accurate Burial ripoff. Hello. And I, for one, would just like to say that it kind of sucks that Burial is so distinctive of a sound that, like, there isn't that many people who did sort of the same thing, because I think the world could use more music like this. I think it sounds cool. I think you could probably layer in another instrument or two in there. But yeah, this is really nice. And I'm really impressed with the as somebody who has also tried to do Burial ripoffs. I'm really amazed with, like, the accuracy of how perfectly you got the sound. Like, it sounds like a Burial song. The beat is, like, perfect. I think so with that, like, cello stuff, you could try I think what I would, it's fucking hard working with cello samples, but I would try, like, try to chop them up and make more of your own. It feels like these are like the clips that we're hearing feel like they're direct from a recording. I don't know if they are actually, but and I feel like if you chop them up a little bit, then you could make kind of a more intentional sounding melody. But I don't know if that's what you want or whatever, but alright, Zwonky, you should totally listen to Burial though. Burial's great. Yeah, it's really nice. Only Burial would do that. Nice. Nice. Yeah, cool. Let's listen to it again. I liked it. I'll load up some more songs in the meantime. Oh, there's only a couple. Oh, there's more. Cool. Very cool. Okay. Alright. We got Redman. Redman. Do you prefer Redman or Redman? I don't know if Redman's here. I'm gonna call him Redman. Very cool. Lots of really cool sounds in there. I think the thing that comes to mind is like the phrasing. Also, I like the reggae thing, like the. But I also, part of me feels like it's a bit phoned in. Like this is some serious sound designy stuff. It's really nice. So for this, I was trying to make a setup where each time a MIDI note triggered for a specific sample, it would turn on and completely randomize all the parameters of a plugin that the sample was assigned to. Ooh, that's nice. I like that. Okay, so yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I like that idea a lot. But yeah, I feel like you could work on the phrasing a little bit. So like this, like the movement between kind of and like. So I think you could have like. There's lots of nice moments in here, but like. I just feel like a tiny bit more contrast in like when is it slow, when is it fast would make a huge difference. And I mean, maybe all that means is just finding one or two moments where you can just hit like a or sort of or whatever, and then go back to this. Another technique that I really like doing is like when if you have a little fill, and then you just kind of take the fill and just kind of like smoosh it over to one side or something. Sometimes you can get some kind of cool rhythms from doing that. Yeah. I also feel like the one thing that I do like about the is that it's very like fun, and those like sort of sounds in there are also really fun. But then the next feature. Okay, so feels Zwanky says the reggae feels very natural to the tune. So there you have it. But then when the next MIDI note triggered for a different sample, i.e. the snare, it would not only just turn on and randomize the parameters of the plugin that was assigned to the new sample, the snare, but it would also shut off the plugin that was assigned to the first. Yeah, that is very nice. Very cool. Yeah, nice one. That's kind of what I was thinking. Numbers. Tracking. Yeah, true. The autonym said, I'd love to hear chord progression on those reggae upbeat chords instead of the same one. That's a nice idea. The result being that each time a sample triggered, it would generate constantly changing plugin settings by itself, resulting in a never-ending stream of sound variation. And because every sample was both switching on its own plugin while simultaneously switching off the other samples plugins, it meant that there was no overlap of sounds bleeding into each other and muddying up the mix or smearing the transients. That is a very, very cool technique. I really like that. You could really hear it too in the sound. How many different like sort of starting sounds were there? The trickiest part was trying to figure out how to create a triple Hocket setup that would do this using just stock renoise device. I figured it out in the end. That's cool. That's really cool. Let's read I'm going to read that again just so that we all can enjoy it. I'm going to read it in one big bubble. Okay, so for this is Redmond speaking. So for this one, I was trying to make a setup where each time a MIDI note triggered for a specific sample, i.e. a kick, it would turn on and completely randomize all the parameters of a plugin that sample was assigned to. But then, when the next MIDI note triggered for a different sample, i.e. the snare, it would not only just turn on and randomize the parameters of the plugin that was assigned to the new sample, the snare, but it would also shut off the plugin that was assigned to the first sample, aka the kick. And then the result being that each time a sample triggered, it would generate constantly changing plugin settings by itself, resulting in a never-ending stream of sound variation. And because every sample was both switching on its own plugin while simultaneously switching off, switching off the other samples plugins, it meant that there was no overlap of sounds bleeding into each other or muddying up the mix or smearing the transients on the new samples playback. Very, very cool. Oh, hold on. Chat's getting away from me. Big brain time. Oh, Numbers is leaving. Bye-bye. Probably do that in max by setting bangs to things. Yeah, cool. Very cool. Yeah, sweet. I feel like I don't want to give too much feedback because it feels like this is a good, like I want to hear what else you do with this same system. Like, I think when you come up with like a cool thing like that, there's a temptation to kind of mess around with it and then go on to making the next system. But I think like it's good to, make a thing like this and then just try to juice it for everything that it's worth. Like try to get the most that you can get out of it. and put that all in a song or into different songs or, and the other fun thing about doing that is like seeing how you can glitch it out. Like maybe there's a way of like pressing two notes at once or something that screws it up, but maybe there's something cool that you can get out of pressing two notes at once or something. Or have one note that's constantly playing and then you press other ones on top of it. Or like, what if you play a chord? Or what if you put an arpeggiator on it or something? Or, So I was planning to bounce a shit ton out of it and then make various different sections from them into... Yeah, I think that's like a really, really great way to deal with this. I feel like you could also kind of... The more you refine it, the more it could be super useful for a sort of a live setup. I think that like in a live context, this kind of stuff works better than the like really hyper glitchy, like the fact that it's like, this is like danceable. I can see myself dancing with this at the club. Anyways. I'm like putting... We've got... So... Surprise is asking how late it's going to go. I think I'm just going to go till 8, to be honest. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks left. So we'll see. Maybe that'll take us all the way till 8, or maybe we'll go through 1 or 2 more or whatever. Okay. Feedback on the mastering and maybe an idea of how to make a better intro, outro. Stretching out the piano didn't really help. Okay. Here we go. Zwonky Beats. And this was sent with a warning that it might be too EDM, so we're going to have to judge very harshly. Wait, don't forget to put the story about it in the chat. And Redmond, don't forget to put your link, your SoundCloud.
Have you
Yeah, that was cool. I gotta listen to the ambient noise outro. It's very music concrete. Contemporary. Ah, yes. Reminds me of my séjour in France, when I used to wake up in the morning and listen to this kind of music all day long while I sipped my noisette and had my croissant. I would listen to this kind of music. Okay. Stockhausen. Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. Okay, in terms of, what are we talking about? Mastering? I think I would bring up the low a bit. I don't know, actually. Oh, wait, let's try this. Hold on. Oh, I need to log in. I'm not doing that. Yeah, there's... Oh, fuck, I can't even think of what it would... Okay, I will log in. I just want to try something. What am I doing? Sure. Oh, that's not my password. Hold on. What the fuck is it called? The other one. Also, I don't know if this still works, but... Okay, fuck off. Jesus fucking Christ. No. Test, test. Ah, yeah, I'm back. I'm back, baby. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Can you hear? No? Okay. Where's the fucking... How do you change the audio device for this? What? The fuck? What's that? Oops, that's the wrong thing. No? Okay. This one? Am I nuts? Like, what the hell? Where's the... Where's the button for, like, make it go? Okay, whatever. Anyways. God damn it. Yeah, so those high bass notes can maybe have a bit of different. Yeah, I think it's cool. Like the way that it is cool. It's working. Let's see if this works. No, yeah, I think it sounds good. Just I guess like for the mastering, I would just fuck around in something like this. Like throw it in there and try different presets, and then bass focus, that sounds good, and then you do that one, and then you're like, maybe this, maybe a little bit less of this, and that's what I would do. And usually, and then I think the trick is just try it quiet and then try it loud, and then try it quiet and then try it loud, and then it'll all work out eventually. This like reveal here. This reminds me a lot of this like thing. It reminds me a lot of Igloo Ghost, and I think it's a really nice little thing to put in there. Yeah, cool. Wicked. I don't really have much else to say about that, just that I think it's cool. Okay, let's see what the track says. Okay, sleep when you're dead. Europe boys gotta hustle. Melodic motif is nice, but it comes back to horror movie. High bass notes could maybe have blah blah blah. The mix is kind of quiet. Oh no, that was me. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, agreed. I want to hear it on a big sound system. Okay, Vibrous. This is for science. Thanks for the shout out. Okay, let's listen. Vibrous, can you explain in the chat what this is about? Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think yeah, the technique sounds like it works. I think the more minimal parts were my favorites. There's a couple of really nice moments in there. Those kind of little things where it's just like yeah. Yeah, I'm curious like how can you control it? Oh, Jesus Christ. Got a lot of these fucking wannabe famous people. Jesus Christ, there's so many of them. Can I just click to ban? I wish I could just... Fuck. Ban... this person. Oh, here we go. How do I ban? Ban. There we go. I'm banning them all. Nobody's famous here. Be gone, you evil spirits. Please tell me if I accidentally ban you and you're not a bad person. Cool. Okay. Chicks. No, we do it for the money, right? You guys are not doing it for the money? It's all about the money, guys. Big payoff of experimental music. Okay. Anyways, so now that we're all famous, yeah, I think like I'm really curious how you're controlling this, and I want to like play around with it myself. We do it for the incels. We are the incels. Okay. I hope nobody takes that quote out of context. God damn it. Okay, anyway, so... yeah. So I guess, you know, to answer the scientific question, I think this is viable. I think this is... I think you've created a good technique. And I think if this is what you can make in 45 minutes, then you can imagine that what you can make by putting more time into it is going to be really, really nice. Because a lot of the time getting this kind of stuff to begin with is sort of hard. So just starting off with this is a lot, I think. The idea of the mix thing kind of popped into my head. I think it's because you mentioned it in the chat or something where you can't mix or whatever. And it made me think about like maybe there's a way with Mubu or with the way that it's done to, so for example, like all the sounds that have a certain kind of texture go to one channel, and then all the sounds that are, I don't know, all the bassy sounds go to one channel, all the kind of MIDI sounds, midsy sounds go to another channel, all the high frequency ones go to another channel, or something like that. Like, yeah, that would, I think that is doable. It might be hard to do, but it would give you more options for mixing. Or and you know, if you wanted to split it even more, you could do like all the quiet sounds of those go to a certain, like the, you know, like quiet low mids bass goes to one group of 3, and then loud low mids bass goes to another group of 3. So you split it up into like, you know, 6 channels or something. That would probably give you enough to work with. Or the other way of doing it is just that every individual, so say you have like 3 channels and every individual sound goes to the next channel, right? So it's like, you know, like, so they're always being, so that there's not so many overlapping sounds. So then at the end, you could cut out any ones that were too loud because they would be sort of by themselves, sort of. That would allow you to mix it a little bit too. And then you wouldn't have, yeah, I guess they all have different kind of pros and cons, but yeah. Progressive rendering. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but it sounds right. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next song. I'm starting to really have to go to the bathroom, so I don't know what we're going to do here. Okay, Avon. Is Avon in the... At Avon. No, there's no matches. Peace out, Ray. Nice to see ya. Nice little finish there. I'm gonna listen to it again. The spatialization is fucking insane. Like, it's so wide. Okay, so one thought that came to mind is, like, we're gonna kind of get into the details here. Okay, so there's these two kind of elements that I kind of want to point out, is like the kick and the bass thing, and I think, like, so let's just kind of go through them. Okay, so here we have and I think that works, right? You have your kick, which is sort of like, you know, you have this momentum going up to the kick stops it, and then we have this, like, and then we land. There's like the sort of landing of the bass sound, right? And I think that sort of balance is, it doesn't kind of land super tight as well as this one in other sections, right? So you have, like, the bass kind of gets buried under something else and kind of ducks out of the way of it or something. And I feel like it doesn't, like... sometimes it feels like it comes a little bit late or something. So especially... I don't know if I've reviewed any of your stuff before. This is great, by the way. I really like it. But I think, like, so when you're making really weird stuff like that, I think it's really helpful to think about the weird stuff as pushing your audience away, and think about the easy, kind of more understandable stuff as bringing them closer. So if you're trying to, we're all kind of trying to mess with people with our music, right? So we want to push them away, but we don't want them to leave. We want to push them away a little bit and then bring them back, and then push them away and then bring them back. And then it's like that rocking kind of back and forth motion of being like, I don't understand. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I don't understand. That's like, I think that's like the creme de la creme of this kind of stuff. And so to that end, I think like if you if you so for example, those kind of sounds, if at the end they were sort of high passed a little bit more to make more room for this bass that's going to come in, it would allow more space for that bass to come in, and it would also make this feeling of like that we have this tension and release into the bass thing. So yeah, I think that's my main feedback with this. Is like I feel like it's really cool. There's so many good sounds and stuff, and I think if you get that balance just right, you've got a really, really, really good 16 bars to start your track with. You know, the other way of going about it is just keep writing, and then at the end you come back and do that kind of stuff, or later in the track you go back to it. Let's listen to it one more time. The other thing that comes to mind is like, I think you can miss that kick sometimes because, you know, you build this expectation that it's going to happen. So it's a kind of a cheeky move to, you know, say we're here. And then without the kick, it could be kind of an interesting feeling. And line the kick up with the bass or something. I don't know. Yeah, very, very cool. And yeah, if I haven't, I don't know if I've reviewed your stuff before. Your name seems vaguely familiar, but I don't remember. And if I haven't, then welcome. And I don't know if this is the SoundCloud that you want to put in the chat, but please, everybody, please remember to put your SoundCloud in the chat. And if you forgot when it was your turn, then just put it in now. Okay, one more, and then I might just cut it after that because I really have to pee, and it's almost the end of the time. So let's listen to this one by The Autonym. Oh wait, we forgot to put the shit. We forgot to put the story in the chat. So, autonym, the autonym, please put the story in the chat for this song. Like, what were you trying to do? What's like a cool technique that you used that you liked? What's you know, what's the idea behind the song, or you know, whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, introduce the track a little bit. And let's listen to it. Nice. I think for such a heavy subject, I feel like the sound design is kind of like it's kind of sweet, you know? Like I think you can go harsher and more fucked up with the sound design. Snare in the second section. Heavily tuned snarls. Yeah, I like those kind of snares. But I feel like you could kind of fuck it up even more. Like here, let's take a little sample and fuck it up. So actually, one thing that we were kind of playing around with before, here, I'll make this a bit bigger. Or actually, maybe I'll do like hold on, let's do, 1 second. Scene. Stand by. Shit, 1 second. Jesus Christ. Here we go. We're getting there. Okay. So, stand by. Okay, so we can all kind of see this now, right? Okay, so I think like in terms of like corrupting the file, there's a lot of like really fun kind of stuff that you can do to get kind of more corrupty sort of sounds. The first one that comes to mind is just like just kind of stretching the shit out of it. Like, so for example, if you take, hold on, let's duplicate this before we kind of fuck it up. Or here, we'll put that there. And then we'll just take this and use, I don't know, something like this. And then, oh, this is going to take forever. You get all these kind of messed up sounds from just stretching it and then putting it back together. Also, like, I guess maybe you've seen that video that I did where you record into another track here. So say we have, I don't know, resampling on, and then we hit record. You get some kind of cool sounds from this. This kind of stuff is always fun. So that can get you a lot of like kind of nice sounds to play with. This also you can do, sometimes this sounds good, sometimes it doesn't. But you can use repitch mode on this because this is all these different tempos here, right? So we can get like a little, like if we just take a little snippet where that stuff is happening. Oh, these are all really slow. I guess we could go like this. Consolidate that and then just pitch it up. Yeah, these are nice kind of sounds too. The like grain harmonics. Yeah, or even just like, you know, taking the original and you know, the thing I always do, which is just put it through Scratchy or whatever. Any sort of like spectral kind of shit is always really nice. I don't think I have anything good for that here. Oh, you know what I could try though is something like this. In here we can do kind of weird shit. Like we can take a little section. How do I play just the selection? Maybe I don't know how to do that. Oh yeah, you can just like delete section. You can get some kind of cool sounds doing that. You can also, you know, select a section and just try to do some of these in a really weird way. So for example, actually I wonder what spectral repair would do. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Oh, that's really nice actually. That's kind of cool. So there's that kind of stuff. You can get some nice sounds from that. De-reverb, this might be kind of interesting. Nope, that didn't do anything. Artifact smoothing. Yeah, those kind of fuck up things can be kind of interesting. And then of course like resampling and putting it all back in the original one. You know, if you just want some like spectral, what is it called? If you just want some of that kind of weird, like spectrally sounding stuff, yeah, let's do this. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Sure. Yeah, I don't know. You can get some nice kind of sounds out of this sort of stuff. There's lots of fun little shits that you can do. Yeah. I think also with this, like when you're drawing, I think you can control the brush size. I don't remember where you do that, but I don't know. I always think that's kind of cool. Yeah, just make a build up by just going like this. We're gonna make a build up. Yeah. Hold on, there's another thing that I wanted to try in here, which is like, what does this resample do? New sampling, right? Okay, presets. Okay. How high can you go? Oh, actually, yeah, let's try going down instead. Let's go to like 5,000. Oh. It's not that exciting. Or what about we go the other way, so like 96K. But yeah, so this kind of stuff can be fun, and it's worth playing around with, even just to get like a sample that you can kind of mess around with more. Yeah, that's a nice one. So Vibra said there's a fun technique with grain spec where you just put a MIDI note in and make sure audition is on and just hit/hold up down arrow key or any sampler in Ableton. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. The plugin was Isotope RX. The other thing that you can do sometimes, I don't know if I have like a vocal synth. Okay, here we go. This is another one that's kind of fun for screwing around with. Wait, what the fuck is this? Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's turn this up. So this is using auto-tune on a thing can sometimes give you really nice results. So if we do, for example, let's do, I don't know, yeah, C, I don't know. So it's going to really try to put it into, it's going to try to pitch detect and put it in there, and you get some nice things out of that sometimes. I think this is mono, so you might have to like split it, like have two instances of this to do it in stereo. Let's try some of these other things out. A little bit thin, I'd say. Some nice stuff in there. You could do that also on like the resample too. You could probably get some cool things out of that. It's kind of cool. That's gnarly. Anyways, so yeah, maybe not on everything, but like just as a resampling thing, I think that could be fun. Okay, I think that's it for me for today. Yeah, so hopefully that was fun. And that everybody was happy and satisfied. Oh, I didn't notice I didn't follow you. Okay, so now I follow you. Oh yeah, and put your thing in the chat before it all ends. Okay, cool. Yeah, make it more brutal. Fuck yeah. It's about like a really brutal thing, so I think it makes sense to make it more brutal. And to anybody who sent tracks but didn't get it today. Oh, it doesn't look like there's anybody. ZZY? Oh, okay. Sign me up to his fucking mailing list. That's rude. Yeah, thank you for the stream. Thanks everybody for joining. It's always really fun. Let me put on some music to take us out. Let's do another Zach McCoy one.
Dogs are going to heaven.
See you next week.
Wait for me. If we're all going to heaven, what's the plan till then? Gravity has no